It's a great pleasure to be with you once again, dear viewers of Burundi National TV. Thank you for joining our programs, and I welcome to today's English News edition. On the presentation, you are alongside I, Evariste Nyonguru, without further delaying headlines. Administrative officials of Butanyerera province are urged to work in synergy in order to ensure the harmonious development of their region. This call was made by the head of state, Evariste Ndayishimiye, during the official presentation ceremony of the new communal administrator of Busoni. In the news related to hygiene, today we take you to Gitega, where in certain areas, hygiene measures are being observed, though some individuals continue to dispose plastic items, particularly plastic bottles, in inappropriate places. Welcome again in details. The Burundian head of state, Evariste Ndayishimiye, urged the administrative officials of Butanyerera province to work in synergy in order to ensure the harmonious development of their region. This call was made during the official presentation ceremony of the new communal administrator of Busoni, Francois Kizabye-Karenzo, who preached to serve the population fairly. On this occasion, the head of state inaugurated the new administrative building of Busoni commune and later visited the gold mining site in Kabuyenge, located within the same commune. The Speaker of the Upper House of the Burundian Parliament, Gervais Ndirakobucha, accompanied by his two vice speakers, granted an audience this Thursday to Emangoan Anoho, the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program UNDP in Burundi. The Senate Speaker also received the Chinese ambassador to Burundi, Zhao Jianping, who came to bid farewell at the end of her diplomatic mission in the country. More details with our colleague Fabian Yonesigia.
The President of the Senate first held a meeting with the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program in Burundi, according to Benoit Ngendakuriyo, spokesperson for the President of the Senate. In addition to discussing issues related to development of Burundi, the President of the Senate presented the progress of the missions entrusted to the institution he leads, as well as the necessary resources to effectively carry out these missions. Among these needs are notably the strengthening of the capacities of the senators and the Senate staff. He also indicated that the Parliament plans to establish liaison offices in all provinces to better gather citizens' concerns and convey them to senators. The resident representative of the United Development Program in Burundi, for her part, expressed her institution's support for the ongoing decentralization program in the country. Subsequently, the President of the Senate received the Chinese ambassador to Burundi, Zhao Jianping, who came to bid farewell at the end of this mission. The President of the Senate thanked him for the fruitful cooperation with the Burundian Parliament in various fields. Zhao Jianping, for his part, expressed his satisfaction with the good relations maintained with Burundian institutions during his tenure. Senator President Gervais Ndirakobucha wishes him great success in his new functions and encourages him to continue raising Burundi's voice wherever he will be.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, Executive Director responsible for 17 countries, including Burundi, was received by the Burundian Prime Minister Nestor Ntahontuye. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss prospects for cooperation between the IMF and Burundi. Such consultations are regularly held in preparation for the MIF's annual meetings. Burundi Ombudsman Emelo Hantine Kanyana recommends Mwaro District's people to avoid filing unprofitable lawsuits that spoil money and time, but commit themselves to self-economic empowerment. This was discussed Wednesday during a meeting gathering administration staff and the population aiming at collecting complaints and finding way out. For the full story, Prime Mugabonihera.
2 categories of complaints were unveiled, among which those regarding common interests and others that are personal. The majority of the 2 were regarding court records. Participants complained about proceedings delays, biased lawsuits, and delays in judgment enforcement. The Ombudsman urged grassroots administration officials to monitor the daily grind of people they are in charge of, so as to solve quickly conflicts. For Emero Lantine Kanyana, it is a suitable way to reduce lawsuits that are filed in courts. In addition, she stated that her institution is ready to continue monitoring the compliance between administration actions and people's needs. Besides, the institution plans continuous sensitization campaigns towards newly appointed administration staff in a legal framework in order to equip them with the skills allowing to do their job properly. This will be also the case for the population. Furthermore, the Ombudsman advised participants to avoid endless unprofitable lawsuits that for her spoil their money and time and further hamper them to reach self-economic empowerment.
The 3-day Second World Summit on Social Development concluded this Thursday in Doha, the capital city of Qatar, having taken place from November 4th to 6th, 2025. Alain Ndikumana, the Minister of Finance, who represented Burundi at the summit, he said that Burundi's national vision aligns with the goals outlined in the African Union's Agenda 2063 and the United Nations 2030 Agenda. Fabiano Nizigie once more.
In the speech delivered by the Minister in charge of Finances, Alain Ndikumana, in the name of the head of state during the Second World Summit for Social Development, which was held in Doha, Alain Ndikumana stressed on the challenges that the world is facing, which are the aggravated inequalities, galloping demography, and the climate change. The Burundi minister in charge of finances underlined that the Burundi development vision is to implement priorities of the Agenda 2063 on the African Union and the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations that stipulate the mutually enforcement consolidate social peace. According to him, to reach this sustainable development, the Burundi has its own roadmap, which is the Burundi Development Vision, Burundi as a Emerging Country 2040 and Developed One 2060. This development vision will help the increase of richness, reduce any kind of inequality, and improve well-being of the Burundian population. According to Alain Ndikumana, the main priorities are mainly modernization of agriculture, valorization of natural resources, improvement of business climate, and economic governance. Whereas 60% of the Burundian population are under 40 years, the promotion of gender equality and empowering women and the youth is another priority of Burundian Republic, stressed Alain Ndikumana, minister in charge of finances. Instead of this progress, Burundi is facing impacts of climate change, international economic crisis. The engagement of the aid has to be done. The minister Alain Ndikumana has concluded his speech by reaffirming that Burundi will do everything in favor to social development and social justice.
Understanding the expectations of Burundian influencers was the purpose of a meeting held by the Minister Gabi Bugaga with the influencers and the representative of online television platforms. Among the concerns raised were the need for reliable internet access and the issuance of press cards to facilitate access to public information. The Minister of Communication assured them that the ministry is already working to address these concerns. He also promised to provide training opportunities to help them extend their work. Jivande Shimie translated this story.
It was the first meeting between the Minister of Communication and the Media, Gabi Bugaga, and influencers, as well as representatives of online and TV channels, held this first day. The purpose of the meeting, according to the Minister, was to understand the expectations of these digital content creators. In their remarks, the influencers expressed their wish for a more stable and affordable internet connection, noting that some of them cannot afford Starlink services. They also called for a revision of the press law in Burundi, explaining that influencers are not currently included in it, a situation that prevents them from accessing public information since they are not eligible for press cards. The participant further requested that Burundi establish partnerships with YouTube and Facebook so that Burundian influencers can gain greater visibility and earn revenue from their content. They believe such partnerships could help reduce the problem of foreign currency shortages. After listening to their concern, offered several pieces of advice. He urged them not to publish private information about others and to avoid sharing hateful and obscene content. The minister also highlighted some initiatives from his ministry, including ongoing discussions aimed at establishing partnerships with social media platforms. He announced that a Rundi language dictionary will soon be made available online. Additionally, he promised training sessions for content creators. For those interested, the ministry will also consider offering tax exemptions on work-related tools and equipment.
Yes, we keep on our news edition. Compensation and, where possible, restitution of looted property are among the measures that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, civil and in French acronym, is preparing to implement promptly. This was announced on Wednesday by the president of the commission, Pierre Claver Ndayicariye, in Burunga province, during the official launch of several activities related to land and other property seized during Burundi's past crisis. Pierre Claver Ndayicariye urged citizens to speak the truth and refrain from using falsified land documents. From Burunga, Joseph Mwendajambo.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission brought together armed forces, administrative leaders, security officials, justice officials, and church leaders to advise and prepare them for the task of peacefully resolving disputes over land and other properties confiscated during the killings perpetrated in Burundi, so that the property of the victims can be returned to them. In the province of Burunga, the governor's advisor in charge of justice and politics, Annunciata Ndaikunda, requested that the civil team increase the number of employees who receive the files of citizens because there are too many in this province. Regarding this, Pierre Claver Ndayicariye, chairman of the Civil Commission, said that he was going to submit this complaint to the government of Burundi so that the civil can obtain permission and the capacity to increase the number of employees. The leader of the civil says that this activity has come to comfort the hearts of Burundians who are suffering. He asks that all those who know they have property that does not belong to them to hand over them to the owners and in a peaceful manner, and asks everyone to tell the truth. While this task requires a concentrated effort, Pierre Claver Ndayicariye asked the government officials to urge citizens to participate in this task, and the leaders are urged to tell the truth and respect the decisions taken. Security officials are also asked to be alert when the civil team is involved in activities in their area. They pray the government to support it, especially the means to ensure that these activities are successful. Participants raised various concerns related to the seized properties. The head of the civil and some of civil commissioners gave clarifications. The civil team therefore pledged that it will not deviate from its responsibilities and that will always help to unite all citizens in the country so that Burundi can achieve sustainable development.
I had introduced it in top stories that in certain areas of Gitega, the political capital city of the country, hygiene measures are being observed. However, some individuals continue to dispose of plastic items, particularly plastic bottles, in inappropriate places, despite the ministerial ordinance in force that sets fines for those who violate hygiene and the public sanitation regulations. Jivanda Shimie once again.
City of Gitega, notable improvements in hygiene can be observed, particularly in the implementation of the recent measures taken by the government of Burundi regarding waste management and environmental protection. These measures, which include awareness campaigns promoting the responsible use of plastic packaging, appear to be bearing fruits in some quarters. However, challenges remain, notably the lack of awareness among some consumers. Certain individuals continue to dispose of plastic waste, especially plastic bottles, in public places or in nature. This leads to the blockage of drainage systems and complicates the management of wastewater. Such plastic bottles were observed near the Gitega market, is in a place known as Kukabasazi. Gilbert Mawenimana, who works at a restaurant bar located in Ibgoga, emphasized the need for collaboration between manufacturers of plastic bottled beverages and their vendors to establish an efficient collection and recycling system. According to him, this would be an effective strategy to reduce plastic pollution.
Yes, it's by this element that concludes our news edition, but you can keep on watching our news via our page, our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Thank you for being with us. Stay blessed.